Hi guys, welcome back to Let's Play Order of Battle Blitzkrieg. We are outside of Warsaw and the eventual fall of Warsaw City should conclude our campaign against Poland. We are playing on standard difficulty and we have a few points available to further specialize our army. And I think we want to go with specialized training. So newly purchased infantry units start with 1 experience star. Let's get that. And let's start the scenario. So, mission briefing. After the hold-up at Warsaw, Army Group North has continued its advance toward Warsaw. To cut the enemy's supply lines, it must now cross the Neru River and reach the eastern part of the Polish capital. Alright, sounds good to me. In the meantime, the 4th Panzer Division has already reached the suburbs of Warsaw. The Poles have turned the city into a fortress, however, and our assaults have so far been repulsed with significant losses. Equally concerning, the Polish Poznari and Pomorze armies have launched a counterattack near Kutno. We may have to divert forces away from Warsaw to deal with this new threat against our flank. Alright, so 2 fronts. Ultimately, our objective is to destroy the Polish troops. Well, that is kind of obvious. In or around Warsaw. With the fall of their capital, the Polish government will be forced to accept an unconditional surrender. Let's check the objectives first. So, we need to destroy 40 ground units, that is a lot. Capture or encircle Warsaw. Alright. All supply routes between Warsaw and the northeast to southeast must be cut off. And there are several routes. Alright. We need to defeat the Kutno counterattack. Fighters need to deal 30 damage. We need to capture Modlin Fortress, which is right here. And we can deploy to the north of that. And capture the armor train. To force the surrender of the Polish armor train, we must cut off its supply lines, while causing enough damage to break its combat capabilities. This sounds pretty difficult. It is secondary. So, right, let's take a look at the core forces. Not very impressive. We have 1 infantry unit, a few engineers, a recon unit, a 38T, a 3E, Panzerkampfwagen, and a artillery unit with a truck and a Stuka, and that's it. So what do we need? We need a fighter. We need infantry. Now we can get heavy infantry. That sounds pretty good. And if we buy them without transport, we can get 3. And with transport we can get 2. Right, so let's get 2 units, heavy with transport. Now where do we want to deploy? We can deploy to the west of Warsaw. Or we can deploy to the north. in which case we need to break through here, have a river as a barrier, the fortress, which is that a primary objective? No. A secondary objective. And I don't think we want to spend any resources on the counterattack, which is taking place over here. I think we should focus on Warsaw. And let's deploy all our troops to the north actually. So heavy. Another heavy. No, these are the heavies, alright. Let's put another heavy right here. The engineers. The scouting unit 3E. 38T. We got some artillery. And the fighter and Stuka. And that's it for deployment. So the counterattack. I don't think we can control these units. No. So they are AI controlled. They will deal with the counter offensive. Near Warsaw we have a minefield, a bunker and an airfield. But if I remember correctly, the scouting units cannot actually take objectives, so I do want to take the airfield, however. Let's maybe move up with the Panzerkampfwagen 2. Move up with the 3E. No forces present on the airfield. And we have regular infantry. Mines, lots of mines. Have to deal with that later. This scouting unit needs repairs, I guess. Right. Let's move up the Panzerkampfwagen 1. A auxiliary unit. I think the plan is to work our way south towards the fortress. Let's wait actually with the... Well, that was not really what I wanted, but... Alright then. Heavy infantry. I think we should start bombing. And send in our own heavy infantry. Not in a truck, come on! Really need to be careful with moving the infantry. I don't want you to get into trucks, guys. Just take a nice walk. So these guys will be in trouble. Not much we can do about that. And that's it for turn 1. Yeah, the scouting unit can stay where he is. So the counter-offensive. Let's see how AI controlled troops do. Well, that's pretty good. Enough troops available, apparently. I think these guys can hold the line here. And that was the train. Secondary objective, let's not focus on that. Right, artillery. Wow, that is nasty. These guys have a few big guns. And flank secured, alright. The Polish counterattack has been defeated. The remaining enemy forces around Kutno are now retreating towards Warsaw. And that is bad news, I guess. Meaning more enemies near Warsaw soon. But we can take the airfield. Destroy a bunker, very nice. Let's be careful though. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's move back with the recon unit. Something like that. Now we do have artillery that needs to be destroyed. Let's send in the Stuka. Artillery. We may want to move it up. Let's clear the area here first. anti-tank, anti-TKS inbound. Scouting ahead. We need the artillery dead. Engineers can walk into a trap. Not much we can do to help them. Well, maybe. Just want to block the troops from the east. And let's move up the artillery a bit. I think we will follow this route. The engineers should probably not travel in a truck. And I think that is it for turn 2. Yeah, the scouting unit can stay where he is. Securing this area, I guess. And the Polish troops are retreating towards Warsaw. If we can believe the intel, that is. What is this? But this doesn't look very smart, moving your anti-tank gun into the river, but alright. Yeah, they will take a lot of damage. So the TKS, we can take it out with the 3E, I think. Yeah, the airfield is ours. We may want to look into the nearby area. Where are the other Polish airfields? What can we do here? Can start a attack. Or maybe scout ahead a little bit more with the recon unit. Infantry and mines. These guys are very experienced and probably entrenched. Let's just block them for now. We need to maybe send in the planes, Stuka, to soften things up a bit here. Let's see, we could start working on the fortress. Well, let's just hold our positions here. Yeah, we need these guys destroyed, and then we can, well, attack these guys from the east, like this. Isn't that a classic pincer movement, or something like that? So let's destroy these guys. Or maybe not, that's also possible. Yeah, the tank needs some reinforcements. And we are basically blocked here. Oh, we still have the planes. That's a good attack. Strafing run here. Right, finally. Good job, destroyed. So the 3E can confront the TKS. And finally the recon unit. Let's do some scouting. And I think that is it for the turn. Yeah, these units still have their attack available, but I don't want to attack anything here. We will keep our positions, keep the airfield. And we are making some progress. This road, this area should be clear. If the Polish don't send reinforcements, that is. Well, these guys still can move. Forgot about that. Could send them in a truck. But let's not do that. And check the other units. Give you some replacements. And that's it for the turn. Occupying the bridges. That's a good plan. Yeah, the AI controlled units are doing a good job, I guess. Except for moving the anti-tank gun into the river. That wasn't such a great move, but I'll forget that. Not sure what tank that is, not a TKS. don't remember what tanks the Polish had. Not a lot. Trying to isolate the recon. It may get attacked multiple times, yes. And it may actually be destroyed. It's kind of the behavior I saw in Panzer General 2, where all the units give priority to the recon. Oh, actually did some damage there. And the Blitzkrieg, the French Tsar offensive, has been called off, allowing German forces to retake most of the lost territory. As the Western Front remains quiet, Poland clearly stands alone. So can we actually do some damage here? That would be great. I don't think we can force our way through Warsaw towards the artillery units here. Probably asking too much. Move you back a little. Engineers. Wow, that's nasty. This terrain is clear. I think it was a good choice to make this area accessible for all the troops. Right, route it. That's what we want. Now we cannot follow up because the movability of the infantry is a bit disappointing. Recon unit cannot repair it, so it is definitely in trouble. We got a, well, that's what it is, a 7 TP. Maybe we should hide somewhere. And I think that is it for the turn. So making some progress here. These guys are nearly dead, but we got another tank inbound in the river. And our recon unit is definitely in trouble. But I'll worry about that in the next episode. For now, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.